What's up, everybody? I am Doggie Diamonds. This is Doggie Diamonds TV, and this is a part of today's rundown. Pardon the voice, I'm working through it. I'm working through it. But anyway, Diddy's mother decides to release a statement via a lawyer. Partially, what she said was Sean Diddy Combs' mother, Janice Combs, releases a statement to Local 10 News Sunday about her son's trouble. I said what she said. Anyway, in the statement, she says a 54-year-old son may have lied about his domestic violence that was caught on video, but that doesn't mean he's guilty of the SAs he is accused of. So basically, she's saying he lied about this, but he ain't lie about that. But, unfortunately, lady, ma'am, mother, Diddy mother, when somebody's a liar, when do we pick and choose what we believe? But of course, he's your son. You're supposed to defend him, and I respect you for coming out defending him finally. But this is a statement that she made. I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. To bear witness what seems to be like a public lynching of my son before he has had his opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court to finally share his side and to prove his innocence. I'm not here to portray my son as perfect because he is not. He has made mistakes in the past, as we all have. My son may have not been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying that he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside the norm or is too complicated to be believed. This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend's lawsuit instead of contesting it until the end, resulting in the ricochet effect as the federal government used the decision against my son to be interpreted as an admission of guilt. It is important to recognize that none of us, regardless of our status, are immune to fear or mistakes. Not being entirely straightforward about one issue does not mean my son is guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongly convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they did not fit the image of what society considers to be a good person. History has showed us how individuals can be wrongfully convicted due to their past actions or mistakes. Watching the world make jokes and laugh at my son's life crumbling before our eyes is something I can never forget. It is truly agonizing to watch the world turn against my son so quickly and easily over lies and misconceptions without ever hearing his side or affording him an opportunity to present his side. These lies thrown at him are motivated by those seeking a financial gain and not justice. These individuals saw how quickly my son's civil legal team settled with his ex-girlfriend's lawsuit, so they believe that they can receive a quick payday by falsely accusing my son. False allegations of SA thwart true victims of S violence from getting the justice they deserve. To make matters worse, the federal government is now using these lies to prosecute my son. This injustice has been unbearable for our family. The worst part of this ordeal is watching my beloved son stripped of his dignity, not for what he did, but for what people chose to believe about him. I ask his supporters, fans, colleagues, friends, and the public to not judge him before you've had the chance to hear his side. I beg you to think about those who have been wrongly persecuted, to remember that not everyone who's made mistakes in life deserves to have their entire existence judged by a single action or a few mistakes. My son is not the monster they have painted him to be, and he deserves the chance to tell his side. I can only pray that I'm alive to see him speak his truth and be vindicated. Respectfully submitted on behalf of Janice Smalls Combs and the Combs family. Respectfully, you're his mother. You're supposed to stand by his side regardless. But I hear kind of half accountability being taken. I could agree with you. People are looking for, some people might be looking for paydays. But how do people get compensated these days for wrongdoing? I mean, you get into an accident, you get your money. So in this situation, even if it was an unintentional accident, still get paid. I mean, that's what civil suits are. Like, sometimes, okay, I didn't mean it, but somebody still got to pay somebody for it. You know, you can't just say, oh, I didn't mean it. Now, saying I didn't do it is one thing, but what we've seen over the past 30 years of his behaviors and some of the things that he said, some of the things that he's done, of course we're going to have judgment. Of course we're going to form our opinion based off of what we saw. We're not foolish. We're not dumb. So you can't say, hey, you didn't see what you just saw. He didn't just say that. He didn't just come on the Fab. He didn't just, rub up on French Montana on Ellen and shit. We saw that with our own two eyes. We saw aggressive behavior. We know that he could be aggressive with women. So if a woman says, hey, he was aggressive with me and he did this and he did that, and then he settled in the suit based off of this paperwork, I would have fought that tooth and nail if I was innocent. Honestly, I would have said, look, you ain't getting nothing from me because I didn't do none of these things you said. But trying to be a quick fix, put a Band-Aid on something that needs sutures. I like that word right there. Something that needs sutures is why you're in this position. You should have never settled if you weren't guilty. But how could you say you're not guilty if what we just saw is what we just saw? So it's like, I'm guilty of this. I kicked her, but I ain't punch her. But I wasn't going to say I kicked her unless y'all saw me. Other than that, I'm brother love. I walk around with love. I'm not into these things that they're blaming me of and all that. Come on now. Like, maybe 120 victims might be excessive. Maybe some of it might be capped. But see, this is the bed that you made for yourself. For example, if I'm a known thief, or say a kleptomaniac, I go to people's houses and I got caught stealing from 15 of my friends' houses after a while. If I'm known to be the thief, as soon as something is missing, everybody's going to blame me because that's what type of person that I am. So if this man is so many people who has stories, his friends, his former artists, former bodyguards have said all these things about him. And then we saw what we saw on tape. Why are you asking us not to believe that he's capable? And if it's probable, it's possible. And if it's possible, it's probable. So again, I understand you doing what you have to do as a mother. But please don't try to give us these sentimental moments trying to prey on our ignorance, because we're not ignorant. Again, I hope everybody in this situation get justice. And if he's didn't do some of these things, I hope he is exonerated. But full accountability is a must. And he took accountability for Cassie. And we are to believe that was an isolated incident. Come on now. Anyway, man, I'm Doggie Diamonds. Let me know what you think about this. The statement. I'm gonna actually put I'm gonna make sure that I copy and put the statement inside of the description box so you can read it out loud for yourself or read along with me, whatever you choose to do. That's it, man. Make sure you leave me a comment too. Let me know what you think about this. Just try to use certain words or don't use certain words like the essay word, or you could put essay, put DV. I'll know what you're talking about because these people don't play with me over here. They try to get me out of here. I say one or two things, but if you're not a subscriber, man, subscribe. That's what I do over here, Doggie Diamonds TV. Give you opinion, give you facts, give you things to make you think. All right? I'm out. Until next time. Peace.